Okay, here I am. I'm back. I hope y'all enjoyed me and Jerome's conversation in the last video. Yeah, it was pretty deep. Yeah, you can all imagine what it's gonna be like if O.J. Simpson passes away. You know, the kids and them families are gonna be at each other's throats. I'm telling you what, they're gonna be beefing like no other. You'll see. So I'm telling you what, you talk about celebrity beefing. I'm telling you what, that'll be a World War III right there. They all will be fighting over O.J.'s money. And kids, he will that money to his kids, and then Goldman's and all that, they're going to try to go after the kids for their money. You know what? Fucked up, isn't it? Hey, Anita and Josh, what's up? Alright, I'm going to tell you why we're here. We finally getting to make this video because we've got some decent weather out here. It's not maybe the warmest. It feels pretty good, actually. It's a pretty good day out here. 51 degrees. Don't feel too bad after it's been 30 degrees out, cold as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Spring supposed to be coming anytime, and time for some spring. Time to see some spring weather, right? Well, I'm downtown here in Louisville, downtown here in my city on Main Street. Yep. And I want to show you talk about and show you some places that Louisville and New Orleans, that remind me of New Orleans when I see things in Louisville. Yep. There are a lot of things here that do remind me of New Orleans. So it's like I consider my city a small version of New Orleans, but New Orleans got more going on. You know what I'm saying? But Louisville does have similarities. But we're going to go ahead and show you some of that. And, you know what I'm saying? New Orleans is a way bigger city. Everything they have is going to be bigger than what we got. So I do admit, Louisville don't really have too much. This is a smaller town. But we have, one thing we have in common is both have a yearly event that goes on every year. They have the Mardi Gras, and we have Kentucky Derby, and both of us, both cities are famous for bourbon whiskey, right? We both do bourbon whiskey in Louisville and New Orleans. They even got a street in New Orleans called Bourbon Street. I think it's the French Quarter, where the French Quarters is and stuff. But I kind of messed up. There is a French Quarter buildings around here, but they're just kind of scattered all over the place. And I thought there was one on the corner, and I may just got it mixed up with somewhere else. So, I may be thinking I've seen that building somewhere in the East End, maybe. I don't know where it's at. It's probably where it is. Either there or Louisville's where I'd seen it. But there's quite a few. Hey, Noreen, what's up? We're talking about our French Quarter buildings that we have here in Louisville that look like New Orleans French Quarters. So, getting ready to show you some of them, but they're not all over here. We don't have a big row of them like they do in New Orleans, but they're scattered around the city. So, but let's go on Main Street and you see what we got going on here. They did a lot of work to this place now. I have done, I've been living here 18 years, and might as well say I used to come up here, and Louisville was never new to me. Even when I moved here, it wasn't new, because I used to come here and spend summers with my grandparents back in the 80s. I used to come here and see friends back in the 90s. It's like I said, this is my hometown, just like Cincinnati is. No particular place, but I could just say I'm from the area, right? Because not much in common. I don't know why I'm thinking that. Now look at this castle here. I don't think New Orleans don't have castles, does it? Now Cincinnati, my other town, it does. They got so many castles in Cincinnati. I went to a school that looked like a castle. Yep. Now Cincinnati is cool in that sense. And Cincinnati, that's another town. I'd say that's my other hometown. They've got a lot of other things in common with us, but as far as looks and stuff to do, no. But Cincinnati, let's just say Cincinnati owns probably half the shit in this town. So, you know. And not only that, half the people live here, either from Cincinnati or have a family member or somebody in Cincinnati they know. You know, it's half of the people in this town. Of course, but that's the next, because it's the next city. It's our neighboring town. You know, it only takes 2 hours to get there. Hopefully, we can make a trip to Cincinnati again. I got a lot of things I need to do up there and stuff with all my just getting the show business and shit. I'm really I got to go up there and get some shit done. So, as you see here, you know, we got this Louisville Slugger. You know, we have a minor league team. Now, does New Orleans have a baseball team, a major league? Now, that's one thing I wonder about. They got a basketball team and a football team. And by the way, I'm sorry about what happened with the basketball coach, Coach Benson. He will be missed, and I'm sorry, and rest easy to him. He was a great coach. I really loved him to death. I'm sorry. I feel bad for his family. Prayers go out to his family and those affected by this loss, and the people and the players of the Pelicans. But here's our science center right here. This is our science museum. It's all right, but it's a very small little museum compared to what I've been to. It ain't nothing like Cincinnati. It's just an IMAX and a small science museum. Cincinnati's got a natural science museum. It's kick-ass. I went there during my high school years, and I used to love that place. The Almanac is a bomb. I don't know if it's still there, because Cincinnati changes so much shit, but I can imagine it may make it better, and I can imagine how better it is now. I mean, there's things that just we have in common, you know. Oh, let me show you this. This is what we have in common. But it's not over here. It's, actually, I'll show you our city emblem. You know, what's that thing, what's that little symbol called? The Saints have that symbol, the fleur de lis, whatever. We use the same symbol here in Louisville. So, we both display that symbol everywhere. So we got that in common for sure, right? You know, sometimes when they try to do things in try to do things here like New Orleans, they call it Lou Orleans. Interesting, right? But I kind of wonder, I think maybe, sometimes I kind of don't look at history and read it, but I try to assume stuff. But usually when you find things like that, buildings that look like other cities, it's just like the French structures and stuff. I think the French could have, I don't know, did the French settle Louisville back in historic times? I think the French may have, but this town was mostly settled by English, but as you can tell. But this area around here, I remember it used to be run down over this way, but they've really fixed, I mean, Main Street was kind of run down on the other side, too. But they fixed it up over the years. You know what I'm saying? Here's the Morton Steakhouse. I'm going to be looking for somewhere to go eat tonight, but I think that's going to be a little out of my price range over there. I mean, if there's anywhere to eat along here, go to the same damn places all the time. Here's the building I'm talking about over here. Yep. I'm not just going by this one building to say that we have in common what we have in common with New Orleans, because I've seen buildings like that all over Louisville, but it's just not in a row. I even see them across the river. Now that's something New Orleans don't have in common. Well, there's not another city. Well, there's not another city across the Mississippi River except the rest of New Orleans. There probably is when you go across that damn lake. It takes, if you take a bridge across that lake, it takes you about 20, 30 minutes to cross. You go to Mississippi, you'll be in Biloxi. I don't have family in New Orleans, but now I do have family in Biloxi. My mom's cousins live there. Hope to visit them sometime. Because here's our building right here. Here's this one of the buildings that we have here. It looks kind of old and run down, but I've seen better looking ones here than that. But they come in like the other one they had is like a spring green structure, and I thought it made a mistake and thought it was on the corner over here. But I must have things mixed up because when you don't go somewhere, this is from my own town. I feel kind of stupid because I kept talking about it being on the corner over here, not on down here. So I feel kind of stupid because I said the wrong place. But I might, like I said, I've seen the building elsewhere. It's like a algae color, or it's like this color of a green over here, and has black structures on the windows, not black windows, but the trim on the windows and stuff to design the windows, And another thing we have in common, we're all along a major river. We're along the Ohio River, they're along the Mississippi River, and we got the same kind of bridges going across the rivers too. Except now Louisville don't have a big lake and a big long bridge to go across it. New Orleans is in an area down south where there's swamps and stuff. Here we're in a deciduous. This is a deciduous region here. You just got regular stuff over here. I don't know if I want to go along the river. The river was high. It was pretty much flooded about a month ago. Almost a month ago. Yes. Yeah, let me go read this thing. It might tell me something about this structure. Because it says for Normandy, I guess. People, live here. I wonder what they use this building for. But I'm sure things can tell you about it. But maybe these structures just didn't exist in France, but England too. But but the French mostly settled New Orleans, and the English settled here, and not in this area. Germans did settle here, some of the town. It's about probably the only town in Kentucky where it's settled by Germans. Germans settled Cincinnati. Germans make up so much of Cincinnati. That's how Cincinnati's got a name, the name it does. And German words are so long and hard to pronounce. You gotta see some of the last names they have. Especially if you have German ancestry and you're doing genealogy, you're gonna run across so many long, weird names that you can't pronounce them. I lived up there. I had friends with weird last names, and I had, weird last names. It's just, you tell if we're along a big river here. We're along the Ohio River. Gets wider here than it is in Cincinnati. But let me read something about this. This is called the Normandy, established in 1889. Yep. This building's in bad shape, though. I don't know if they live in here. They keep the downstairs probably good, but I don't know. I think those are offices. I don't know what they are. Yep, it says Renaissance Business Center, so could be some offices. And if anybody lives down here, they're going to be paying out the ass for rent. Now, let me show you this fucking structure up here. You're going to get a laugh out of this. So there's people living that thing over there. Yep. There's people live there, but bet you paying more than I don't know, with me, I just couldn't pay a lot of money living in an apartment like that, even if I had the money. You know, if I'm spending that much for an apartment, I should get a house, have something I own. If I'm going to spend that money. But look at this shit. Yeah, New Orleans have this kind of structure. You got this guy standing here. Where's his damn dick? They cut his dick off, but they let his balls in there. And let's just have a drunken moment self of me. Yes, I'm gonna have my drunken moment. I'm not drunk, but I'm pretending. I can't walk it too good. I'm not seeing too good. And I'm about to do something totally stupid. I am just wandering, and I'm just wandering about everywhere. Just don't know. I can't say I'm drunk, but I'm gonna be stupid. I'm just maybe not drunk, but maybe my mental illness could be acting up as I walk toward this fucking chair. There's a statue sitting there, and I'm about to see this man and talk to him. Oh yes, let's go. Hey, I'm needing some change. Hey dude, you got change? You got some change for me? Hold on, we're gonna make another video.